What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back again. We called for the bomber. We called for the bomber. As the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh. As we've got a big bomber on Luka Vuskovic. Luka Vuskovic to Brighton. Here we go from Fabrizio Romano. 46 million fixed fee plus a sell-on clause to bring the potential package over 50 million. Wow. Massive signing for Bournemouth after personal terms agreed, and he also said Spurs ready to go all in for Sandro Tonali. But in terms of the Vuskovic deal, I mean, it's crazy to think that it's we've pretty much just swapped Vuskovic and Van Hecker for a couple million more. That's what we've done here.
Which, well, yeah, pretty much. Obviously, the details of that sell-on, it says 46 million with a sell-on clause which takes the overall package to 50, but I don't really understand how that works, because surely the sell-on would be a percentage. If it is a percentage of around 20%, and he gets a big move, then that could be an extra 10 to 20 million potentially down the line, depending on how big that move is. But and also it could also mean if Tottenham want to buy him back, that you have some leverage, I guess, to buy him back with that sell-on clause if we so choose to do that down the line. But Luka Vuskovic, there's been a lot of rumours, haven't there, about what's going on with him. He obviously wants to start games regularly. He wants to aid his development. It wasn't going to happen at Tottenham over the next year, and probably for the foreseeable future with the Van Hecker signing. This is what we were saying earlier in the window when it came to being linked with Jan-Paul Van Hecker. As much as De Zerbi wanted him, there was going to probably be a casualty, and I think this is what we are seeing right now. I mean, in objectively, we signed him for how much? 10 million or something? And something like 5-10 million. We've sold him for now 50 million without even making an appearance. He hasn't even made an appearance in the Premier League. So selling a youngster for that kind of fee when he hasn't made an appearance for the club, where there's still some question marks about it, I think I can live with it. However, I think we all know, or can all see the talent that Luka Vuskovic does have, and I really hope down the line, in a few years' time, we don't end up regretting what could be a potentially generational talent in that position. But right now, we don't know if he's that level yet, or we think he could be, but we don't know. And he's still 19. He's still got a lot of developing to do and a lot to work on. So I think currently, with the spending that we're looking to do, there had to be some casualties. There had to be some sales out the door. And as painful as it is to see a really talented youngster, which we've developed into a player who was in the team of the season in the Premier League with the loan deals, it's a shame we're not going to, looks like we're not going to reap the benefits of all that good work we've done. But you could argue reaping the benefits is getting 50 million. And you can't really argue against that.
Yeah, look, I'm obviously frustrated about losing Luka Vuskovic. I had massive belief in him. I was saying, only a month ago or a few weeks ago that I wouldn't even bring in Van Hecker. I'd streamline Luka Vuskovic into the starting 11 or at least into the first team squad, because that's how much I believe in his ability. He's shown it in abundance everywhere he's been. Last year, top 3 players in the Bundesliga, which is crazy for a 19-year-old. First time in a big league. It's just nuts to do what he did. All the threats he's got, aerial threat, unbelievable prospect Luka Vuskovic is, and Brighton have got an unbelievable talent here in Luka Vuskovic. But I think, you can't dwell on it and you can't feel too bad about it because of the move Spurs are making right now. We've got Van Hecker in. We're looking to bring, or looks like Tonali is about to come in, Mateus Fernandes through the door as well as all the other free transfers that we've made. I think if you keep building in that aspect, you're not going to feel the loss of Luka Vuskovic. And, in 2-3 years' time, we could be looking back on it and being like, wow, what a player that we've let go. But if we keep in this similar vein and keep adding like the way we're adding, it's not, I don't think we'll look back at it as harshly as maybe we'd do if it was the old Spurs and we were, scrimping and saving and bringing in the likes of, Dragashins and all this kind of stuff. Like, just look at Man City, for example. They let go of Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer absolutely ripped it up at Chelsea. Was one of the best players in the Premier League. But there was no skin off their back. They didn't care because they won the league and they brought in top talents, and it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. We're only really, the reality is, even if he becomes a top centre-back, we're only going to regret it if we don't have our own house in order. If we don't have good centre-backs performing at a good level for us. That's the only way we're going to regret it. And if selling Vuskovic helps facilitate big money moves for real quality players that are going to really help the first team and help us get up challenging near the top of the table, then we're not gonna care how well he's doing. And in fact, the better he does, we're gonna like it because he might get bigger money and we might get a bigger fee.
Yeah, well, David Ornstein's just tweeted on it, and he said, and he's given us more information about the deal. He said, Brighton reach agreement with Tottenham to sign Luka Vuskovic, 46 million plus 4 million in add-ons, and Tottenham retain a 20% sell-on clause and matching rights. So any bid that comes in for Luka Vuskovic, we have the right to match it, and it will be accepted.
Okay, so that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, no guarantees down the line what if he wants to come back, what our centre-back situation is going to be. But this is kind of the kind of deal I was looking to do. I think, we have the ability to match it, which is really great, and a 20%. So let's say he goes for 80 million. How much would we make out of that?
I'm not sure if it's a 20% on the actual fee or 20% on the profit. Sometimes it's just 20% on the profit.
What does it say? 20%?
It just says 20% sell-on fee.
Well, if it is, let's say it's 20% on the fee. That's well, I'm guessing it would be on the fee because on the profit of 50 million, I don't know how much. I don't know how worth it that would be. It would only make more sense if it's on the fee, I think. Maybe it could be on the profit.
A lot of these deals, it's a sell-on fee on the profit that they make. So I don't know
let's say if they say him for like 80 million, that's an extra 16 million, right? And then all of a sudden we've made 66 million on him. So I think it's a good deal. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think it makes sense for Vuskovic. He wants to start. He wants to develop. I think we're getting a good fee and potential for even higher fee down the line, and potential to even bring him back if we want to. If things go wrong with our centre backs and we get to match a fee for who else bids for him. So I think kind of works out in a way. The only thing is, letting go of a talent like that when he's on your books and. Letting go to a team like Brighton who are going to develop him well and knowing the talent we have there, it's a shame. I think there's no doubt about it. It's a shame from that point of view. But I think what the current trajectory of this transfer window, the amount we're spending, I think for me, I'm okay with it. It makes sense to me, the way we've dealt with this situation. We've got a really good fee. He might not even turn out to be as good as we think. He might turn out to be just a very good defender, not an elite one. We don't know. He might turn out to be a £60 million defender at the end of the day. So we'll see how he develops.
It's a monstrous fee for Brighton, though.
It is a big fee for a 19-year-old as well.
It's got to be their record fee, surely.
And also on... I don't know. I guess so. Yeah, I guess. Is it? And also, when you look at the World Cup, you look at how Van Hecke's been performing and how Vuskovic performed in the one game. I know it's a bit harsh, but there is a bit of... I think you've seen Van Hecke's just been... I think he's been great.
There's no doubt about it. Van Hecke is the better player right here, right now. Mm-hmm. There's no doubt about it, We've spoken about this over the last few weeks when we've been comparing the two players. But you do feel like Vuskovic, the trajectory he's going on, he's got the higher ceiling than what Van Hecke has. So obviously I would have preferred a loan move, try and get him out on loan. I always thought Brighton were never going to buy at a loan move. It's just not their model. And they put down big money to take him down south. So look, we'll see. We'll keep a close eye on him, not only because we've been following him for so long and just to see the trajectory he's going on, but if he smashes it, we will have an opportunity to bring him back as well.
Yeah, exactly. So, as painful as it is, we've got Van Hecke and Senesi through the door. It's always going to be difficult for Vuskovic to look at that situation and accept it, and accept either going out on another loan or he just wanted to play. That's the main thing. And then maybe he feels like he can find a home at Brighton. He can develop at a club who are very good at developing players. And also they're a club that do sell if the right offer comes in.
Yeah, look, he's not going to stay at Brighton for the rest of his career, that's for sure. If he keeps going on in the way that he's going, he will get a big move at some point in the next 2 or 3 years. That's for sure. And you actually think about it, they've spent 46 million on him, right? Let's say a bid comes in of 80 million. If we can match that bid, we've basically paid them, and he comes to us, we've basically paid them 36 million to develop him for us. That's what we've done.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that makes sense. That makes sense for us. Obviously, the question marks whether Vuskovic would want to return, all these different things. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, we've got a really good fee. And it also just subsidises some of the money we've already spent. Obviously, 85 million Fernandez already spent, 52 million for Van Hecke already spent. So all of a sudden, that just brings that net spend down a bit, just so it increases our ability to spend more in the future.
In this financial year, we're actually in the plus right now.
In this financial year, exactly.
That's even crazier to think about. So we've got even more to spend right now in terms of the new financial year.
Yeah, the PSI widens it. So I'm okay with it. I'm not like happy about it.
There is no chance Romero goes for less than that. There is no chance. He's got to go for more than what Vuskovic gone for.
You would think so.
He's got to go for more than what we pay for Van Hecke. He's got
yeah.
There is no way.
You would think so. I mean, that's what Spurs will be demanding, I think, for sure. That'll be the asking price. But we'll see how the window develops. Obviously, his stock is a bit lower at the moment. I'm not saying it's lower than Vuskovic or anything. I'm just saying it's just a bit lower than it was with a poor season. We'll see maybe during the World Cup if he has some good games in the knockouts and stuff and gets in the public eye again about how good he is, then maybe people more prepared to pay it. But he just didn't have a good season. And also, I think clubs are not stupid. They know we've signed Van Hecke. They know he's up for sale from our point of view. They know that he also is probably pushing to leave as well. So that all comes into the valuation and the bargaining. But we'll see what happens with Romero. But yeah, when I look at this Vuskovic news, I'm not happy about it. I'm not like saying I'm delighted we've got 62 million or 50 million, sorry. But I'm just like content with it. I'm okay. I understand why, and I can live with it. I can live with the fact that we've done the business we've done. We've made this decision. I just think it puts us in a better position to challenge next season and all in the next couple seasons potentially to where we want to be, rather than betting in Vuskovic as our number one and just hoping he becomes the centre back we need him to be.
Mm-hmm. And I guess this will be in a similar light to the other young players that we've got, and we're signing players ahead of them that are more ready now players. So if players are impatient to stay at Tottenham, like a Bergvall, like a Luka Vuskovic, it's probably right just to do the deal, because we can get serious money in for these players and we can fill the squad with ready now players. You know, we're not that club, I don't think, anymore that wants to just keep developing talent. Of course, we want to develop talent, but we want to develop them under ready-made players. We don't want to give them that starting berth in the team.
It just ups the standards, doesn't it? When you've got a high-class player in the first team, and then those other players have to be good enough to kind of break in. Obviously, they need the game time as well, but they need to be good enough to earn the game time. Right now, we've kind of been using them out of necessity, rather than. I'm not saying they haven't been good. Of course they have, but it's like regardless if they've been good or not, they've kind of had to play, haven't they? Mm-hmm. So it's a bit of a different scenario to how we've been doing, which has obviously aided them in their development in some aspects. They've got a lot of game time, but in terms of the standards of the squad, we've obviously suffered for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was not expecting that. I'm refreshing Fabrizio Romano, expecting a Tonali, here we go, and I get a Vuskovic, here we go. I was not expecting that at all.
A lot of people saying they're going to be hate watching Vuskovic now. A lot of people saying he's been forcing this move. He's been all his agents always been causing trouble. What do you feel?
I think it was SZY said that he doesn't have great people around him, and there could be a case for people like his agents, instead of going on a loan move or for a year or two, the agents don't get that big sell-on bonus, do they? So they'll get a big sell-on bonus here, and they'll get a big sell-on bonus when he moves to his next club, and they know that Brighton are a selling club, and if he progresses in the way that he wants, then the agents will be eating for many years off this.
Yeah, there's that, but on the face of it, what is best for him? Is this not best for him?
No, I think it is, probably. It is. But again, there could have been a way to keep him at Spurs and to keep his development and to end up at a better team at Tottenham than Brighton.
Yeah, but that's for Tottenham. I'm not talking about
And for him, look, obviously Brighton's a very good place to go and develop, but is there not another place that would have accepted him on loan where he could have developed that at a similar rate?
Yeah, but I think always having a permanent home is always better than being on loan for a player. So I'm saying just purely
like,
for Vuskovic.
like what Arsenal did with Saliba.
Yeah, but that was always they what's it called? They did that with Saliba, and it worked out very well for them, and it did turn out to be the best thing for him. But I don't think they really planned very well, like for their centre backs. But like they were playing Ben White centre back. It didn't really work. They had Rob Holding. Like there was always a spot for him. We've just signed Van Hecke, who's De Zerbi's man. Van der Ven, hopefully not going anywhere soon. We just signed Senesi. So we're planning with very high quality centre-backs already, who are not exactly old, who are going to be there hopefully for a while. So when you're Vuskovic, you're looking at that situation, you probably think the best, if you can, the best thing to do would be to get a permanent move somewhere for a decent fee. Because especially a team like Brighton, where could definitely aid your development in a really good way. It's the perfect move for him, I think, actually, Brighton. Like, Premier League, not too much pressure on him. We'll have some European football as well. A team where they're not... they've done this a million times, bringing young players through. They're going to give him patience. It's not going to be like being at a big club where obviously, Brighton or whatever, but they're not. It's not going to be forensically analysed like he would be at Tottenham. Every game, every mistake, everything. He can just go about his business and develop. And even if he makes some mistakes or has some bad form early on, he's not going to come under massive pressure like he would at a big club.
But he's going to be scrutinised playing for Brighton more than he's ever has done.
Yeah, that's also true. But that's what he wants, isn't it?
Yeah, because at Hamburg, barely anyone's watching him. Only the Hamburg fans, pretty much. At Brighton, everyone's watching the Premier League. Everyone's the most watched league in the world. What's Ali Gold said?
Spurs agreed deal for Vuskovic, 46 million plus 4. In what are seen very achievable add-ons, plus a 20% sell-on clause, as well as matching your baseball ones. He said.
So look, on the face of it, I think it is a good deal, and I just think the market's just crazy, man. The market is absolutely crazy. I can't believe the numbers that are being bandied about for all these players. A player that's never played in the Premier League is going for 50 million. Pretty much. That's
where we're at the moment. A 19-year-old who's never played in the Premier League.
Yeah.
A teenager. It's insane.
And we're talking about Romero, who's won the World Cup, who's been our club captain, and basically our biggest player for the last 3 or 4 years, going for the same price.
Yeah.
How does that even make sense?
The market makes no sense.
Argentina's starting centre-back, their best centre-back that they've got, for a guy who got dropped in the Croatia team after the first game of the World Cup. How are they going to go for the same price?
They shouldn't. They shouldn't. Romero should be a lot more expensive, of course. Should be 100 million based on that.
Yeah.
He's probably twice the player Vuskovic is right now.
Right now, yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, look, at the end of the day, he goes with a heavy heart. It's a shame because I really wanted Vuskovic to be here for the long term. You never know what happens around the corner. He could be back in 2, 3, 4 years' time. But right now, we are selling him to Brighton. Good fee, good sell-on fee, or good sell-on percentage, and the right to bring him back as well. So it is what it is at the end of the day. I wish him the best of luck. I really do. I don't get all this stuff saying, we're going to be hating watching him and stuff.
No.
Guy's a kid. I
think at the end of the day, you've got to do what's best for yourself, especially at that age. Because, don't get me wrong, Spurs have done good for him. Look where he is now. But at the end of the day, as soon as he underperforms, he's going to be out the door. You know what I mean? That's how football works. People always demand loyalty from players, but there's never any loyalty from clubs. Very rarely, anyway.
Yeah.
As soon as a player's underperforming, they're out the door, and that's it.
Apart from Tottenham and Ben Davies.
Yeah, but that's different. Yeah, but he was being here for 10 years, different aspect. Look, Tottenham are a different kettle of fish anyway, but I'm saying in general. So I think if you're a player that age, And, you see that situation. I think he's done the right thing. I think we've probably done the right thing because there's not really a pathway right now in the next 2 to 3 years. And in 2 to 3 years, he's only going to be 22 in 3 years. He'll be 22. He's still going to be so young. So we'll see what the future holds for him. And even if we don't see him in the Tottenham shirt and they get a big fee for him, we still get a slice of that pie as well. So I think it just works out for everyone right now. And let's see what the future holds for him. I'm excited for him because I think he's going to get to show his qualities on the biggest stage, and hopefully he'll get to develop into the centre back he thinks he can be because he's a top talent. But I think when you're looking at what we're trying to do clearly this summer, which is really get serious players in there who are experienced, who can play in the Premier League, who are spending big money, I think this just adds on to what we've been talking about the different ways of operating. They've been talking about before. You have to buy at the right time, but we've always been bad sellers as well. So I think this is actually a good sale.
Yeah, I agree. It's up there. Obviously, we sold Kane for big money. We sold Bale for big money. Is this like our third biggest sale?
Kane, Bale. Well, 50 million, I guess so.
It's got to be our third biggest sale, isn't it? For
Walker,
a guy that's never
Walker
played
probably
for
was
us.
more.
Kyle Walker. How much was Walker? 50.
He was 50, yeah, but similar, I guess. Who else? Yeah, Brennan was 35.
Modric was like 30
Modric was like
something.
35, I think. Yeah, Carrick was 18 back then. Yeah, probably, yeah, I think you're right. Probably third biggest sale.
It's crazy. For a guy that's never kicked the ball for us competitively. That is nuts. Is that not nuts?
It is nuts.
Wow. Can't
It
believe
is nuts.
All right, well, there you have it. Luka Vuskovic to Brighton. Here we go.
Didn't see that coming today. Some other pretty big news coming, not specifically Tottenham related, but Ollie Glasner's going to Forest.
Glasner?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a big move.
They've replaced Pereira
That's
for
a
Glasner.
very good move for Forest. Very good move for Forest. He's much better manager than Vitor Pereira.
Marinakis ruthless. Saw Glasner, he's like, get him in.
Top manager Glasner. And I think he'll suit Forest as well.
Yeah, it's a really good appointment, I think.
I think that's a great fit. Great fit.
There you go.
Gonna have to do it without Anderson though.